In our nation's story, there are moments that force us to confront the fragility of life and the unpredictable turns history can take. These moments remind us that beneath the headlines and heated debates, we are all vulnerable to loss. They also reveal the deep divisions that can tear us apart, exposing the rifts that run through our communities and families. The sudden loss of Charlie Kirk on September 10th, 2025 was one such moment, a shock that reverberated across the country and left many searching for answers. At just 31, Charlie was the founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative youth movement that began as a campus project and grew into a national force, shaping the political landscape for a new generation. He was a husband, a father, and a man of conviction who inspired millions to get involved and fight for their vision of America. To those who knew him personally, he was also a loyal friend and a devoted family man, always striving to make a difference. Whether you agreed with his views or not, his impact was undeniable. He sparked conversations, mobilized young people, and challenged the status quo in ways that few others could. Now his absence leaves a profound silence for those who look to him for guidance, and a void in the movement he helped build. The news of his death sent shockwaves through communities far and wide, a brutal reminder of how political rhetoric, when left unchecked, can escalate into violence and tragedy. For his family, it was a personal devastation beyond measure, a loss that words can scarcely capture. His journey was cut short in the most violent way, leaving behind a legacy now intertwined with a call for peace and understanding in a deeply polarized time. The loss of Charlie Kirk is not just a political story. It is a human one, a family shattered, a movement paused, and a nation left to grapple with the consequences of division and anger. It calls on us to bridge divides, to reflect on the cost of our words and actions, and to honor a life lost by choosing dialogue over destruction, unity over hate, and hope over despair. Behind Charlie Kirk stood a powerful partnership with his wife, Erika, a woman of deep faith, sharp intellect, and remarkable resilience. Their relationship was not just a marriage, but a true alliance, built on shared values and a vision for something greater than themselves. Erika, a former Miss Arizona USA and accomplished collegiate athlete, is also a dedicated doctoral student in biblical studies. She's a podcast host, a founder of faith-based initiatives, and a passionate advocate for women's leadership in faith communities. Her drive and commitment have inspired many. Together, Charlie and Erika built a life centered on family, faith, and a shared mission to shape the country's future. Their home was a place where values were lived out daily and where their children learned by example. Erika was not just a supportive spouse. She was Charlie's confidant, advisor, and partner in every sense. She brought her own wisdom and perspective to every decision, strengthening their bond. They raised two young children, creating a home filled with love, laughter, and a sense of purpose. Their family life was the foundation for everything they did. Erika's own work, including her podcast and clothing line, complemented their vision. She skillfully balanced the demands of public life with the joys and challenges of motherhood, always striving to set an example for her children. Her strength and discipline, honed as both an athlete and a scholar, have guided her through unimaginable loss and adversity. Erika's faith and determination became her anchor. Their partnership was grounded in mutual respect and admiration, a bond that even death could not break. Their love was a source of strength for both. Understanding Erika's role, her unique strengths, and her unwavering faith is essential to understanding the courage she would soon display in the face of tragedy. Theirs was a true partnership, and Erika's resilience, leadership, and grace would soon inspire not just her family, but a nation watching her journey. September 10th, 2025, was meant to be a triumphant night for Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University, launching his highly anticipated American comeback tour. The campus was alive with excitement, students and supporters gathering from across the state, eager to witness a pivotal moment in the political landscape. The auditorium buzzed with energy as Charlie spoke with his trademark passion, his words echoing through the packed hall. Supporters cheered, hanging on every sentence as he painted a vision of hope and renewal for the country. Then, in an instant, everything changed. A single shot rang out, shattering the sense of safety and celebration. Charlie was struck by a bullet in the middle of his speech, turning hope into chaos. Panic swept through the crowd as people ducked for cover and security scrambled to respond. Emergency responders rushed to the stage, but the wound was fatal. Despite their desperate efforts, there was nothing more they could do. At just 31 years old, Charlie Kirk was pronounced dead, a victim of what authorities quickly called a political assassination. The university campus was locked down as investigators began their work. News spread rapidly, transforming a political event into a national tragedy. Social media exploded with disbelief and sorrow as the country tried to process the shocking loss. The investigation revealed a calculated attack. A young man, Tyler Robinson, was arrested after a tense manhunt that gripped the community for hours. The weapon and engraved casings told a chilling story of targeted violence, leaving investigators and the public searching for answers and motives. For Erika and their children, the world stopped. A phone call delivered the unthinkable, shattering their sense of normalcy in an instant. The public tragedy was, for her, an intensely private nightmare. Grief and disbelief washed over her as she tried to comprehend the loss. The father of her children was gone, her partner stolen in a senseless act of hatred. Their family's future was forever altered in a single violent moment. The nation grappled with the horror of a political figure murdered on a university stage. Vigils were held and flags lowered in mourning. For Erika, the loss was immeasurable. For the country, a sobering wake-up call to the dangers of political violence and division. The grief was both public and deeply personal, echoing through families, communities, and a nation left searching for meaning in the aftermath of tragedy. Charlie Kirk's assassination sent shock and grief across the United States, transcending political lines. Vigils and tributes appeared on campuses and online as people struggled to process the brutal loss. Leaders from across the spectrum voiced their sorrow. President Trump called Charlie the Great, and Utah's governor condemned political violence. The event dominated news cycles, with every detail scrutinized by a nation in mourning. For millions of young followers, the loss was deeply personal. They had lost a leader and a champion. Tributes poured in, sharing stories of how Charlie inspired engagement and hope. The tragedy sparked a national conversation about the toxicity of political debate. Justice Barrett and others warned of the dangers of divisive rhetoric. The shooting was a wake-up call, a horrifying example of where extremism can lead. Charlie Kirk's death became a symbol of a nation at a crossroads. Just 2 days after her world was shattered, Erika Kirk addressed the nation, a portrait of grace and strength in unimaginable pain. Her live message was a testament to her faith, resilience, and deep love for her husband. She thanked those who offered prayers and support, acknowledging the wave of love surrounding her family. Erika spoke of darkness but pivoted to the sustaining light of faith. She described Charlie as a martyr for freedom, a man who gave his life for a cause. Her words were raw, honest, and filled with purpose. She wanted the world to remember how Charlie lived, not just how he died. Erika's composure became a source of strength for a grieving community. In her darkest hour, she transformed pain into a message of hope and determination. In her address, Erika Kirk made a powerful promise. Charlie's work would not end with his death. She vowed that Turning Point USA would continue stronger than ever. The annual America Fest conference would go on as planned, a tribute to Charlie's vision. She announced that Charlie's daily radio and podcast show would also continue, ensuring the movement's voice would not be silenced. The American Comeback Tour, cut short by tragedy, would return. There would be more tours, more action. Erika's promise was not just about events, but about carrying forward a spirit of courage and conviction. By stepping up, she honored Charlie's legacy and turned his death into a rallying cry. Her words were a call to action for all who believed in their mission. Erika's leadership provided hope and direction for a community in mourning. Her promise became a beacon, showing that while a leader had fallen, the cause would endure. Charlie Kirk's death and Erika's response drew support from leaders at the highest levels. President Trump mourned the loss, offering heartfelt sympathies to Erika and the Kirk family. Utah Governor Spencer Cox announced the suspect's arrest and condemned political violence, promising justice. Both leaders supported pursuing the death penalty, reflecting the gravity of the crime. Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance also expressed condolences, which Erika acknowledged. The bipartisan condemnation was a rare moment of unity, underscoring the threat violence poses to democracy. Erika thanked these leaders and law enforcement, recognizing her family was not alone in grief. Their support amplified her message. This was a national tragedy demanding a national response. At the heart of Erika Kirk's address was a message of faith and hope. She spoke not of vengeance but of the sustaining power of her Christian faith. Erika framed Charlie's death as a transition, not an end, calling him a martyr with a higher purpose. Her message was one of eternal perspective, urging viewers to find strength in faith, not anger. She asked for prayers for her family and the nation, calling for collective healing. Her hope was active and forward-looking, the fuel for her promise to continue Charlie's mission. Erika spoke of building a better America for her children and future generations. Her ability to articulate hope in grief was a testament to her inner strength. She showed that faith can be a fortress and hope a catalyst for action. Erika offered a path forward, one guided by faith, love, and resilience. As the nation processes Charlie Kirk's death, Erika's message offers a guide for the path forward. Her call is not for retribution, but for unity and resolve against hatred. The tragedy highlights our deep divisions, but her response challenges us to heal, not divide. We must reject violence in all forms and rediscover our shared humanity. Erika's courage should inspire us to be braver in kindness and more committed to civil discourse. Continuing Charlie's work is a call to channel grief into constructive action. For all, it's a reminder to protect free speech and peaceful dissent. The strength of democracy lies in our ability to engage peacefully with those we disagree with. Erika's message is one of enduring hope, showing that from pain, purpose can emerge. By following her example, we can honor Charlie's life and work toward a future where such tragedy never happens again.